Hey, what's up? Dave with Brazos Valley Strength. And I know it's been quite a while since I've made a YouTube video, and so I'm going to talk about that stuff today. I think today's video is going to be a little bit more of a personal kind of video, hopefully motivational. I don't know that I even have a full plan of the things that I actually want to say today, but I kind of have the emotion of it. So I'll talk about all of that and hopefully say what I want to say here. But I wanted to start by thanking all of you guys. My last video was the Avances video, and I've been pumped with the release of that. Obviously, you guys seem to be really excited about them. You know, very, very good reviews. That launch went really well. Definitely planning on a lot more stuff coming. I'm not going to give away any secrets, but certainly that went as well as we could have hoped. I'm super pumped to be a part of, you know, a really good brand like that, like really looking to do some big stuff. And I was thrilled that I was able to really help push that, and you guys wanted it. So that was really cool to see. So I guess I wanted to start by talking about maybe where I've been and what that means for the channel and everything kind of moving forward. So like I said, this video is going to be personal of nature, and I don't really want it to be just, I don't know, I don't want people to feel sorry for me necessarily. I don't want that to be the case. Hopefully I want to use this position to help motivate people and to get people to invest in, you know, more significant ways where they can, whether it's powerlifting or just anything in life. And so I think that's maybe what brings us to the main point. The Corrupted Strength meet was last year, I guess November. And if you guys remember, 2 days before that, my mom had a stroke. And so that definitely disrupted the competition. But since then, stuff has been kind of tumultuous. Is at first, they couldn't really find a good reason as to why she had the stroke. You know, kept going to doctor's visits, things like that. Eventually, they find a brain tumor. Didn't really seem to have a lot of good reason for them to believe that it was anything big or, well, I mean, it was big, but anything serious in that moment, you know, besides causing the stroke in the short term. So continued doing tests and ultimately decided to remove the tumor. And upon biopsy, found out my mom does have terminal brain cancer. So that has been, we've been dealing with that the last 6 weeks. I've been living in Houston, and she's been getting treatment, and things are good right now. Quality of life is good, and you know, we're investing as much as we can, you know, in the time that we have. Personally, whatever. Obviously, from a personal perspective, that's difficult. That's really challenging. For her, for me, I think people on the channel probably are aware maybe a little bit. I also lost my dad of cancer 2 years ago, just over 2 years. He was diagnosed with bone cancer, and basically, like, I don't know, 3 months later passed. So the last few years have been tumultuous in that regard. And so I think I wanted to speak on motivation within all of that, and how I think that lifting has mattered to me and my family. And I think that this is a little bit of a find your why kind of thing. So I don't know that I've ever specifically viewed powerlifting itself as a passion, like that I'm like passionate about the sport itself of powerlifting. But I really, really love competitiveness. I've really liked lifting my whole life, and I found an outlet for that in powerlifting. And I think kind of like grown to love the sport and don't really have interest doing anything else. But you know, I don't know that I would say that I'm like passionate about the squat, bench, and deadlift or whatever. But I have really enjoyed coaching people. Like as a coming up, you know, whenever I was starting off my career just as a personal trainer, I really was enthusiastic about that. And eventually, you know, kind of got better and better at it, and wanted to devote more time to specifically powerlifting, because it was something that I kind of had an eye for, you know, interesting around strength sports and all of that. And so powerlifting was kind of a perfect fit. So certainly as an athlete early on, I really had a lot of investment in the sport and really considered myself an athlete first, even more so than a coach or anything else. And I think maybe I can kind of define myself here as, there's three different parts of what I do. Is I can be the athlete, I can be the coach, I can be the content creator, kind of doing this kind of stuff. And I think there's a lot of overlap between a lot of those things. But I think I've always put this stuff, the content creation stuff, in kind of a subcategory of coaching, but over time it's grown and it's improved my coaching business and it's gone a really long way. But I think as that part of my life has grown, my competitiveness, I guess, has shrunk a little bit. And not even, I don't know, I certainly am driven to be a competitor, or I'm driven to improve myself because I genuinely am passionate about finding ways to improve my craft here the most and be very, very good at coaching people, come up with the best ways to overcome obstacles and write program to get people stronger. Like all of that stuff I'm really invested in. But as far as my absolute drive to like be number one, I think over the last few years, and I think it probably was waning maybe a little bit before my dad passed. I don't know. It's just as coaching business stuff kind of grows. But I think over the last few years, I don't know if it's been that personal stuff that has affected me, but I'm starting to really kind of shift myself back to at least wanting, but certainly feeling like more of an athlete, and that the passion, kind of the drive within powerlifting to get better and to be the best that I possibly can, whether that's just for me or literally versus other people, has definitely grown. And I think it has been really impacted by circumstances around my family. And just recently I was having a conversation with my mom, was that we were planning on taking a pretty big vacation. We were planning on going to Italy in the next few weeks. Big kind of bucket list trip, I guess, for all of us. So wanting to get that done now. But maybe fortunately, my brother and his wife didn't have their passports, so we decided to do a different trip, and we're just going to do kind of a weekend trip in Wyoming. But I was talking to her about my potential of dropping out of Raw Nationals, that I just didn't really feel like in this moment I had the drive to go all the way there and to really push myself to put together like a really big performance on the platform. And I think a lot of it was kind of the knowledge, basically the knowledge that there's a very, very good chance that this Raw Nationals could probably be the last Raw Nationals that she will ever watch. And that is, it's scary. There's kind of some burden along with that, and juggling a big vacation that we were going to do. Now it's smaller, so there's a little bit of relief with that. But potential disruptions in training and just emotion going on with stuff in her life and my life, I don't know that I was ready to kind of invest in it. And she expressed to me that she really did want me to do it. And I think it sort of helped me articulate some of what I've, when people ask like the find your why kind of question, I don't know that I've had like a specific answer to that. And even it's sometimes been kind of dismissive of it. But I think that moment was a big moment for me and really motivating for me. And I think I can kind of boil down my answer at this point to my why, or like what's the real driving force right now, and like why I care a whole lot is because other people care, right? Because my mom cares, because I have people in my life, family members, you watching the video, whatever, like people care about this stuff. And it's always been bothersome to me, the reductionist view of, or people are reductionist in where they say, look, it's just lifting weights, right? Like people don't need to get so worked up about it. It's just lifting weights. It's just powerlifting. And that has always bothered me because people spend a lot of money on coaching. People spend a lot of money going to competitions and investing a ton of time into these kind of things. And I don't know that people truly believe that. They're like, it's just lifting weights. It doesn't really matter. But it does matter because people care. And it does matter because you care. And I think that my feeling at this point right now, as far as like me investing as an athlete and me, investing as a coach, whatever, and really kind of driving that passion there is really driven by the fact that it does matter because we are all invested in this stuff. And like I said in the beginning, like it very certainly could have been anything for me. Like I could have found my way into a different sport and been just as motivated about like that different thing. But like at this point, powerlifting is a huge driving force in my life. And my mom knows that. My mom really wants to see me do well and see like all of this time and everything and effort pay off and like just show up and watch me perform, and not even about like the actual competition itself, but just like, see her son compete or whatever. And I think it's a disservice, especially in this moment for me and for her, for me to not push myself to do that stuff. But like this is like a heavy kind of, weighty moment for me and my family. But I think on a personal level for you and your families, it may not be this big and have this much weight to it. But on a day-to-day basis, I mean, the people that I coach, all of these people watching this channel are training 4 or 5, 6 days a week for multiple hours, like really making sacrifices and investing a lot of time into something that you're gonna say you don't really care about. I truly believe that if you will just allow yourself to invest a whole lot into those things and care, right? You certainly shouldn't be making sacrifices. I'm not gonna make sacrifices in this moment, time that I need to spend with my mom. But when there's opportunities for me to continue to train as hard as I possibly can, I am going to do that because it matters to her and because it matters to other people and it matters to me. So I think that if you are doing this, if you're spending as much time as you probably do watching videos and investing in your training, doing those things, being reductionist about what it means to you is not a good thing for anybody involved. And that whether it's powerlifting, whether it's, whatever job, whatever thing that you're really passionate about, invest in those things. Because the people in your life that care about you and care about your success, it matters to them as well. And you actually finding an outlet for you to be excited about and invest in these things, I think it can really bring, extra value to your life, whether it's powerlifting, whatever it is. Don't reduce things, right? You can reduce anything you want to down to something that isn't meaningful. But I think later on, these things end up being pretty powerful and can add value in kind of surprising ways that you maybe wouldn't really expect. So, as far as moving forward, I'm doing Raw Nationals, without anything unforeseen happening. I'm doing Raw Nationals and I'm motivated to do it. I feel good. I've overcome some stuff recently, like physically, besides stuff in my life. Really motivated to do very, very well at it. So I'm going as all out as I possibly can. But as I've referenced or alluded to, I guess, a little bit throughout this video, is that the channel, my making coaching videos, is probably going to be reduced here in the short term and maybe long term as well. I would actually probably say long term. For a while, I was very, very dedicated to getting out a video every single week. And I'm happy I did it. I think the channel grew a lot and coaching grew and all that stuff. But at this point, I do really want to I want to invest more in myself as an athlete and myself as a coach, right? Like those two things, the coaching is never something I guess I would sacrifice, but I want to allow myself the headspace, the time to be able to, just the mental effort to be able to invest in actually being an athlete as much as I possibly can. And so I think as far as making YouTube videos, I'm just gonna do less. I enjoy doing this. Hey, I even did a new lighting setup. Like it's something I want to do a good job of. But I think my goal is probably like 1 to 2 videos a month. I start like, it's really gonna be centered still around like coaching content. So, we'll get that going again here pretty soon. I still have lots of videos planned there, but it's just the time that it takes to make them, I think is the biggest thing. So, just investing as much as possible into myself and my business, and less about the free content that'll definitely still be coming, but 1 or 2 videos a month is still my goal. So anyway, I guess is my final thought here. I'm not making this video, like I said, for people to like feel sorry for me. That's not my message here. I'm sure I'll get condolences and all of that kind of stuff. You guys are always really supportive with these kind of things, but I think I really just wanted to make this video to encourage people to invest and to not be afraid of going all in when you can and where you can, and that putting more effort into those things that you care about. And like me, I was afraid, a little bit to invest fully and kind of feel like I fell flat on my face. But I think me investing fully in this moment is something that I need to do. And probably, moving forward, I think you'll find those things in everything that you do as well. So if you did like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we'll have more upbeat content soon, and we'll see you next time.